Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. Happy Thursday to all, and a quick shout out to my newest patrons, Keith, Knight, Rob, Robert, Gort, Victor, Connor, John, and Donald. Thank you all very much. Greatly appreciate the support. Now, I know some of you guys and my other patrons will be waiting for those deep dive videos. The first one should be coming later tonight at the earliest, or probably Friday or Saturday at the latest. Quick announcement, the mugs are made. They are up and live. You should be able to go down below on the merch shelf, and if not, I have included a link to the store, so you can go check these out if you want. I have also created a white one, so there's a white and a black option. Now, honestly, I'm not sure how long this will stay up. Maybe there are some trademark situations. Maybe Gordon sees it and reports it. Speaking of that, if you are interested in getting one or sharing it with a friend or something, please do it via DM or a private message rather than just posting on Twitter, where Gordon will have a higher likelihood of seeing it and ultimately taking it down. Honestly, not a big deal either way, but a lot of people did comment and said that they were interested in this mug as a piece of history. So of course I had to put it together quickly for you guys, and there you go. And yes, I have a few on the way for myself that I plan to keep as gifts and giveaways for the future. So fun stuff there. Thank you, Gordon, for the entertainment. A quick note on FSD Beta 10, people are still split whether we're going to see it tomorrow, Friday the 24th, or the following Friday, which would be October 1st, given the timing of Elon's tweet. If indeed Elon was on Pacific time when he made that tweet, it would have technically still been Thursday, meaning it could actually be coming tomorrow. But I wanted to bring this up as a reminder that whether it's tomorrow or next Friday, chances are, once these people are able to press that button and request access, it's going to go back to waiting. I don't think they're going to get anything right away. So just tread lightly, set your expectations properly, and we might still be waiting even after the button is available. But moving on, GM is investing $300 million into a Chinese autonomous driving startup, Momenta, to develop self-driving technologies for future models in China. There's not a ton of information about this company online, but if you go to their website, you can see they share this visualization. Of course, same idea as to what Tesla does, but far more rudimentary. So we'll see how this one plays out, as Momenta is among the few companies that hold a permit for gathering HD maps in China. I'd like to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's episode, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes for you to explore new skills. Whether it's how to start your own YouTube channel, how to become a wizard on the grill, or how to get better sleep, Skillshare will have a class for you. I'm currently going through the Pilates practice Uncovering the Basics by Robin Whale. Golf season is winding down, which means I'm back into lifting weights, and I want to stay flexible and have a killer core. Getting into the intermediate power core section, however, was very humbling, but Robin's granular explanations are really helping me to focus and learn the movements properly. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads and they are always launching new premium classes. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can start exploring your creativity today. Next up, it seems as though Tesla has landed on its supplier for its hardware for Full Self-Driving 2.0 chip. Samsung, the world's leading chip maker, will manufacture Tesla's next-gen hardware for. One of the sources has said it's virtually a done deal. Samsung will produce the Tesla hardware 4.0 chip at its main Hwaseong plant in Korea using the 7nm process technology in the fourth quarter of this year at the earliest. Some people were thinking that it might go to the 5nm process, which would be a little more advanced, but the 7nm should generally be a little bit more consistent in terms of performance. And they said here, decided to use the 7nm technology to ensure higher production yields and stable functions of the chip. Sources are saying Tesla made this decision based on factors like production costs, the possibility of long-term cooperation, and the availability of Samsung technology in Tesla designing its own chips. At this point, we know that if you're a fab or a foundry making these semiconductors and you can't be flexible to allow Tesla to design their chips and then actually manufacture that, you're not going to have a relationship with Tesla. So it's key that Samsung is focusing on that, being flexible and having these lines that will allow for Tesla's specially designed chips in-house. And if you're new, you may be wondering, well, why isn't Tesla just manufacturing their own chips if they're designing them as well and just avoid these shortages altogether? Well, these fabs or foundries to make these chips are huge investments. We're talking $15 to $20 billion when a gigafactory is a fraction of that cost, and they wouldn't actually need the production output that a fab or foundry would be capable of producing given their scale at this time. Simply put, it wouldn't be the greatest return on invested capital at this point. And there's still a lot of uncertainty, but the speculation is that the Cybertruck may be the first vehicle with hardware 4 actually installed. Then the question becomes, well, what about retrofits? Who honestly really knows? But my assumption would be that if hardware 3 is good enough to solve for full self-driving, they wouldn't do free upgrades. But if for some reason something changes and hardware 3 is not good enough, then Tesla should indeed do the retrofits for users to upgrade to hardware 4. Sticking with the theme of semiconductors and the chip shortage, as you can see, the cost of intractable semiconductor shortage has ballooned by more than 90%, pushing the total hit in 2021 revenue for the world's automakers to $210 billion. This forecast coming from Alex Partners, which predicts global automakers will build 7.7 million fewer vehicles due to the chip crisis this year. And we've been saying it for some time now, but this problem's not going away anytime soon. When you zoom out and look at the world, everything is using these chips, phones, computers, any piece of tech is using a semiconductor. This is growing rapidly globally, and it's not just going to be limited to the auto industry. It's not a problem that can be solved overnight. As mentioned, these fabs and foundries are huge investments. They take years to build, and these huge, massive machines that actually make these little small chips are not made in high frequency. So it's a tough situation. The best case scenario is that we start doing things now and making moves so that, 2025, 2030, this problem doesn't happen again. But in the next few years, it's going to be a problem. Next up, Reuters reported that Tesla is pushing the US to boost the fuel economy penalties. We have talked about this in weeks past. As a quick refresher, the Trump administration in its final days in January delayed a 2016 regulation that more than doubled penalties for automakers failing to meet corporate average fuel economy or CAFE requirements. Tesla suggested that NHTSA withdraw Trump's action immediately, saying it produces continuing uncertainty in investments and transactions across the industry, and any delays will continue to have deleterious effects on the credit market until the issue is resolved. The uncertainty perpetuated by NHTSA's sluggish rulemaking pace is thus compounded by the likelihood of yet another round of litigation. So simply put, under President Obama, the higher penalties were to start with the 2019 model vehicle years, but Trump set the effective date as the 2022 model year. NHTSA was considering reinstating the Obama rule. This is kind of interesting to me because we're almost into 2022 already, so then the question becomes, well, would these be like retroactive fees or fines from the 2019 start date? I'm not entirely sure, but I do know that this does have an impact on the value of Tesla's ZEV credits, so we'll wait and see how this shakes out. Update on the 4680s from Sawyer Merritt. He's been told the 4680 yield is very good. They're still working on the throughput. Many variables at play. Increasing speed uncovers simple engineering issues that need adjusting or fixing. 4680s have been in production for a long time now on the pilot line. Some 4680s are going to multiple testing facilities in the US and Germany. Others are being used by the structural pack engineering team. The rest are being stockpiled. It's unknown how many they have stockpiled. Initial 4680 production capacity installation at Giga Texas will be for around 500,000 vehicles per year. Let's be clear, this is just the initial capacity. Capacity will increase with time and quite significantly with added 4680 production lines, which are modular. Tesla's been very happy with the progress and they haven't hit any major hurdles recently. All the FUD that 4680 design will fail and is bad, they'll need to change the chemistry, production isn't anywhere close, etc. All that is completely wrong. What Tesla is accomplishing is mind-blowing. So personally, I still think Giga Berlin and Texas will actually start with the 2170 cells and later move to 4680 implementation, but that's just one man's opinion, and this is encouraging to hear nonetheless. Next up, Orbital Flight Boogie on Twitter shared this image of a Tesla supercharger with the cable wrapped like this. Basically, it is the universal sign that a Tesla charger is not working, so if you come to a supercharger and you see that, just know that don't use that one, don't waste your time. This video was trending on Reddit today. This is the most popular EV in China. I thought it was a pretty interesting video. It's only about 6 minutes long, so I've linked it below if you want to go check it out. In my episode from 2 days ago where we talked about the conspiracy theory with GM and basically planning some of these battery pack issues so that EVs would be delayed, I just wanted to say quickly, I was very surprised how many people said yes, they actually do think GM would be planning this, and essentially doing these things on purpose to push back the adoption of EVs. Me personally, I wasn't ready to go that far, but after going through these comments and some of the other ones, very, very surprised how many people said yes, they thought it was a conspiracy theory. So thank you all for sharing your opinions. I really enjoy reading your perspectives on that matter, and all matters for that matter. But today I'll leave you guys with an edge case for the FSD beta. There were times when I'm not even sure how I would have handled these situations. This is from Dave Mack on YouTube, who some of you might not be familiar with if you want to check out a new beta tester. But that is all for today. Please take a second to like the video. If you did, remember that those mugs are for sale. Hopefully they'll be up for at least a few days. So go ahead and grab one if you want one. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.
All right, we have a stop sign with someone directing traffic. I'm not sure that this takes into that account yet, but this is the first time I've seen it on this version, 10.0.1. Looks like, oh, it tried to go, so that's not good, but disengagement sends the data to Tesla. I'll try to engage it. Nope. All right, let's see. It sees the people in the children in the crosswalk. We've got the crossing guard, so I'm actually surprised and happy that it's not doing anything, which is good. I'm just going to keep turning it back on, because as many times as it captures data, you know, I think I'm limited to 4 or 5 snapshots. But all right, here we go. Come on, we got the hand. Oh no, this is a very long time to not allow people to cross. Now that we have cars just continually going straight through the intersection, they're showing up as blue. This is, you know, actually for AI to figure this out, because she's waving cars to go, but not me. It's definitely an interesting situation. I'm somewhat surprised. A couple times it's tried to go, now it's not. All these cars are staying blue as they're going through the intersection, so